His Excellency President Joseph Nyamambuakai is now His Excellency President Joseph Nyamambuakai is now being honored by the officers of the
To our members of the first branch of government, media, we just want to say here, we're here to console them for this despicable, unpatriotic act that are taking place here.
Conference. As you may be aware, over the weekend, the Rule of Law Legislative Caucus elected Representative Musa Hassan Bedete of Nima County District 7. Today, we will address the media. Bedete, the media side.
Thank you. And I want to first thank my colleagues and the people of Liberia and the media for continuing to do your work in line with. We are pleased to inform you that having met on the weekend, we have decided as a bloc, as a caucus, to return to regular session of the House of Representatives. Our reasons for return are as follows. One, we have waited for the Supreme Court to clarify its ruling, but to no avail. Thus, we must take a different approach to resolve our differences through legislative interactions. Two, we intend to use this legislative engagement to express our objections to the following. A, the election of a speaker when there is a speaker who was legitimately elected in accordance with the Constitution and our rules. B, the suspension and withholding of salaries of our colleagues in total contravention of our rules. C, the dissolution and reconstitution of all committees in violation of our rules. D, which include taking further appropriate legal actions while pursuing legislative resolution on the floor of the House of Representatives. We want to thank the people of Liberia for standing by us and assure you of our commitment to the rule of law. We want to thank you, and we will not be taking questions today.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Number. You are live on Spoon TV. President Bonga's 4 year in office and Joe first year in office. Who do you think better?
I think Joe was most better.
Why?
Yeah, because now the way the team presses are going.
Those who were in charge of the building will have maybe looked at it and investigated it properly. But we don't know. It needs to be.
Do you think there's a mastermind behind this?
But first of all, we need to know what happened. Without knowing what happened, we cannot make conclusions.
What does it mean for the country?
Threatening to burn this building down.
This is why?
A member of the bloc, Frank Safoko, representative of District Number 9.
When did he do that?
What?
When?
Just recently.
No, I don't know. I'm not aware of that.
Honorable Lord, this is the second time happening here. This is the second time happening at the Capitol building. Just a week ago, we also saw a similar situation, and then it's
a very old building. There were several renovations that went on. We think that the structure itself is not too sound. We were advised by the contractor.
With this now, will you back up from the speakership? With this happening?
Yes.
Will you back up from the speakership?
So, just last question. People are accusing your blog that this is coming from. Do you have any reaction to this?
No, I don't follow.
You actually made a post yesterday, Alumbo, and later on it was removed from.
Alumbo, it's Alamo.
Okay, Alamo. But later it was deleted. What did you delete, honorable lawmaker?
Men and women.
Okay.
They have nothing to do with fire.
Okay. So, folks, we just want to hear from the speaker as it relates to a post yesterday, because he has been concerned from many Liberians as it relates to why he deleted the video. So he just made it clear what that word meant, but why he deleted it, he did not state it clear. So let's see.
In your war, Friday the South charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio.
Soon to know what's happening in Liberia, to know what the policymakers are saying, to know what the issues are, to get the updates, to share your thoughts on the trending in Africa. And I'd like to welcome all of you across the world. Thanks for joining us tonight on this edition of the program. This is the late night show, the late night politics on Spoon. This is where we talk Liberia. You guys don't know why I'm laughing. I'll tell you at some point along the line why I'm laughing, because I have screenshots to why I'm laughing. So welcome to the show. My name is Nelson Colette. The late night show is back on the radio. We are live online as well. 101.1 Fabric Radio. 107.5 Spoon FM. And a host of other stations across the country. I say thank you for joining us across Radio Land tonight. Many thanks to our folks online joining us on Fabric TV, Super TV, Spoon TV on Facebook. We appreciate the many folks joining us as well on YouTube. Spoon Talk Live is our YouTube network. As we take you through another edition of your favorite late night show, and we're here tonight to bring you another great edition of the program. Please share the show as you join us. We will appreciate if you ever do that. Share the program as you come on tonight. Let's have a great show. A lot to talk about. As we wake up every morning, we wake up to new happenings, everyday activities all across the country, and it's very important that we get to talk about those different issues every single time. Let me go to the comment section and recognize a few of you here. I see OP O'Neill Johnson. Thanks for joining us tonight. William B. Morris, we appreciate you. Vigilant Soiree, thanks for coming on tonight. Please share the program as you come on. Shaq Wary, we want to say thank you for coming on tonight. Eric McGill. Mr. McGill, thanks for joining us as always from Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks for coming on. Francis Rare is here from New Jersey. Alexander Sami, thanks for coming on tonight. Jerry Gatter, I see Numa Taylor, Nathaniel K. Hill, Morris Moses Mogai. I see Hipko Kasi is here tonight as well. Pittman joining us. We appreciate all of you for coming on tonight. Abraham Toll, I see Theophilus Jibe, thanks for coming on. Nuri, that's Jim Milton, that's Milton Niwe, that's Nuri, thanks for coming on. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. It's going to be a great show, the late night show, as we talk Liberia, always bringing the happenings to you, affording the time to make analysis around those issues, share your thoughts on the different issues, and just making sure that we keep the national discourse moving on every night. Um, so welcome. Let me go across the table. I see Cindy just after knocking some heavy bowl of cassava leaf rice.
Yeah, yeah, right. You can hear me?
The man was in the background and he would take the spoon. Yeah, I don't know how to say this.
You hearing me,
But
Nelson?
Sandy, welcome to the show.
Are you hearing me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good, good. Well, thank you. How you doing?
Yeah. Sandy, please go on a bit. Let me check out on something. Just do your opening quickly. Let me check up on something.
All right. Well, I thank you for allowing us the time to be here. It's good to be here again tonight. Really talking about our country, Liberia. Today, I have been reflecting on something, and I know last night I closed on this seminar discussion. It really has to do with the interests of our leaders in the country. How you recognize that your leaders cared about you or cared about the country is where they invest their resources and where they send their children. Most of our leaders, unfortunately in Africa, but really in our country of Liberia, we find that to be a common trend where our leaders find pleasure in developing other people's country, investing in other people's country, and really minimally care to do anything in Liberia. Across most of our sectors, especially within the ministries and those on the top of leadership, you find them buying homes in foreign lands. More often, they will come on the shows. One of them is Yeke Koluba. He always come here and boasting of the home that he owns all across the world, pretty much. Ghana, Dubai, the Lebanon, and all that. We also know of this guy, former Minister Twe, to also have home in the Ivory Coast. Confirmed that also former President George Weah have homes in Ghana and everywhere. Now, my point here is, apart from just those homes that they are purchased outside of your country, using your country resources, where do they send their children for school? Think about it, Liberians, for a second. They send their children outside of your country. Yet, your nation's highest learning institution, the UL, is deplorable. Recently, I watched a video from Spain when they did a tour of that campus, and I was in tears. No one deserves to learn on such a campus. Given the condition, the physical condition of that building alone, it shouldn't be a learning institution. Our government official will turn their back on that institution. They will refuse to modernize it, to recondition it, to make it better, because their children and their immediate family members are not attending that institution. Yet they come to you and they tell you they love you, especially my young people in Liberia, the youth. They come and brainwash you, pretend to love you, put you on the street to run campaigns for them, put you against one another. But when they get into power, they show minimal interest to transform your life and the life and the condition in your country. As soon as they get into power, they send their children to Ghana, to Rwanda, to Nigeria, wherever, the United States, the UK, to school. When they are sick, They get on the plane, fly outside of your country. And that is why I keep wondering today, that is really why Liberia is not doing better, because they don't even trust the country. They are unwilling to develop the country. They take their monies and buy mansions in other countries because they don't even trust the security of the country. They are not making an effort to make the country better. But yet, they will pretend to us that they love Liberia, and they will put you against your brothers and your sisters. They will put you against your fellow countrymen. They will ask you to go and defend them in public. They will ask you to go and fight against one another. But when they are in power, their investments are not even in the country. That's very sad.
Well, thanks a lot, Cindy, and what a great way to start the show tonight. I had to check up on something. I was hearing some sounds. I wanted to make sure that everything is in tight. But yeah, it's a good thing that we are here again tonight to talk Liberia. Yes, maybe we need a mental revolution in our country that will transform our thought pattern to know what priorities are. What should be more of a priority, over the other things that should be less of a priority for us. From the little man down there to the people all the way up at the top of the ladder, coming down to the middle of the ladder, just everywhere. Maybe we need that mental revolution where people can even vote, not based on how many cups of rice, not based on who gave them $25 or $50 to take them to Bapolu County to go and vote, and then to go and register, and then on the 14th day to carry them back and give them another $100 or $50. Maybe we need a mental revolution that will uh, let our people bring that people to that place of consciousness where they get to realize that the $50 can finish in a daytime, but the decisions they make will go 6 years. It's like entrusting those people with 6 years of your lives. Maybe we need to get to that place where people will see electoral periods not just as a time when we have to sing munya munya zekwe zekwe, but as a crucial period in our country when we have the opportunity right before us to decide as to whether we want to see our country transformed or we want to see it in the same position. But that's why we're here. And again, I want to welcome everyone. Family, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to have you on. You want to do your opening? What's on your mind just before we do the updates and then move into the show?
Oh, Sandy, you gone already?
Yeah, Sandy did that already.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Nelson. Let me say hello to our Liberian people and those who listen from around the world. It's always a pleasure to come on here to speak to the conscience of our people, to elevate their hope and reignite their future goals and other things. So tonight we're going to go into the conversation. There are a lot of things. Every day, Liberia is impregnated with contradictions. So every time we come up here, we're going to always, speak to the issue. And there are too many branding issues in the country. So we're going to piece them out. We're going to give our own analysis, and it is with you, the people. You the one going to be the judge. You the one going to take the decision, and any decision you take tomorrow going to have the direct effect on you or your next generation. So today, let me open this by reminding you of the French of this revolutionary. His name is Frank Fanon. He said every generation must identify a mission. You either forfeit it or you betray it. And when you betray your generation, it becomes a burden to the next generation. So the Liberian people, we want you guys not to compromise your interests for the 25 cents quick impact project. We used to call it the Unmill project. They built it today. After a few times, as soon Unmill withdraw, the whole project broke down because no maintenance. So we want to encourage you to stay focused as you have always been, resilient, not giving up. Your days of redemption are near. Thank you very much, Jesse.
Well, thanks a lot, family, and yes, we want to appreciate all of our folks for coming on tonight. But there's a whole lot happening across the country, and you're right when you talk about the need for Liberia as a country to make progress and where we stand at the moment. But one of the conversations that have taken the center stage in the country since the Spoon Network did that, view sampling, has been a comparison between the two administrations. First, the head in power, based on the views that were sampled, for the past 2 days, it's been like 70-30, or you say 60-40, within that range. About 60% of the people or 70% of the people saying that, oh, the first year of the George Weah administration was far better than the first year of the CDC, of the Unity Party administration. While about 30 or 40% of the respondents or those being interviewed in the marketplaces over the past 2 days saying that the first year of JMB administration is far better than the first year of the George Weah administration. So that debate, that conversation has been going on, but it has elevated from being just a conversation amongst the ordinary people to a kind of analysis now that is being made by those up there. And I listened to a very few of the folks weigh in their thoughts on this particular thing. One time staunch supporter and stalwart of the CDC, Dr. Lester Tenney, is on record for saying that anyone who thinks that the first year of the George Weah administration was better than the first year of the JMB administration must be in another planet. According to him, the previous administration, talking about the one that President George Weah took over from President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, built institutions, built infrastructures, set the economy on a path suitable enough for President George Weah to take off from. But unlike the JMB administration, they made a damaged system, damaged infrastructure. A whole lot was damaged, and so you cannot compare the two. And there are others who are saying that, look, the ordinary people themselves have said it, that things are worse. It's not getting better. It was better with the George Weah first year in power than the JMB first year in power. So there has been this mixed views and all of those mixed reactions coming in since the Spoon Network had that view sampling done across the country in the local dailies and everywhere. This is something that's been going on. But beyond that, there will always be the political side to everything, and depending on where one sits, everyone will have their own position in this particular issue. We're going to take a look at that, maybe for just a few minutes. But the CDC pulled up a statement yesterday. They pulled up a statement accusing this current regime of employing clandestine wartime method to suppress opposition politicians and to suppress free speech. And that statement uh, is from the backdrop of what's going on now with the government, talking about the investigation and everything that the government of Liberia is carrying on. And the folks are saying that the government is orchestrating the unlawful arrest of individuals perceived to be political opponents, as well as citizens exercising their right to free speech. And so this is something that's going on. They think that this government, following everything that was done to bring about free speech, especially from former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the government is damaging that legacy, and that free speech is now being trampled upon by this administration, given what's happening with the Capitol building, the fire investigation, and all of that, and some arrests that were made in the midst in the heat of the protests, and just some of what has been transpiring over the past couple of months, if not weeks, as something that points towards suppression from the government. Well, the 16th president of the University of Liberia is expected to be inducted on Friday. That's today in Liberia, or you see tomorrow, based on the time difference. And today, the soup that has been noted for being a very critical, a very controversial student group, today was seen in the streets endorsing the newly appointed UL president. And then the concern is, how long is this honeymoon going to remain? Are we about to see a shift? Are we about to see something different with Soup and presidents of the University of Liberia? Look, the relationship between Soup and university presidents in the country have never been, a sweet one. No, it has always been a troublesome relationship. But now seeing Soup in the street, welcoming, hailing the government for this move, that's something that's left a lot of people wondering as to whether we're about to see something different, or it's too early to say anything at the moment. So these are just a few of the many happenings across the country, and it's very important that we move into the conversation now. Let's make some analysis around these issues with the time we have left. Let's see if we can make some analysis around this issue. Now, with that whole first year thing, I want us to zero in the conversation from there. Then we'll move to other issues. There have been different reactions. One person who have sharply reacted to this issue has been Daniel Sando, the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information. He went on to outline all the things that happened under the CDC first year administration, first year in power. He said there was the issue of mysterious killings of professional auditors. He wanted to talk about an environmental insecurity, the disappearance of 16 billion of our national currency, the failed 25 million mop-up exercise, the profound failure to deliver on the dividends of democracy, undoubtedly. And he outlined a whole lot. A whole paragraph, several paragraphs he outlined as being the reason why he thinks the CDC first year in power was the worst. And then Dr. Tenney went on to also outline all his own take on this issue, reasons why he thinks that the CDC first year in power was a failure as compared to the Unity Party. And he went on to say that the net international reserve was 110 million in 2017. That's where President Sirleaf left it. 110 million. In 2023 is 240 million. The highest domestic revenue, 450 million. You know, and he did his own breakdown of the entire thing, why he think the CDC failed and the Unity Party passed. You know, so there has been this national debate on this issue across the country. I mean, let's hear your take. What do you think? Let's start with you, Cindy, on this one.
Look, Nelson, on the survey or the interviews that have been going on, most of those being interviewed are people in the market area, are people, ordinary Liberians that often measure the performance of government based on their day-to-day needs, right? Most of them, that's no disrespect, this is just the reality, right? For instance, the mothers in the market, are their markets being bought? You know, are they selling their markets on time? Are their children going to school? Are they feeding their children? Maybe it's husband coming home with some salary. If that is not happening to their expectation, your administration is not performing. That's just the reality, right? The young man you're going to ask on the street there if he's not going to school on time. I mean, they measure them based on their daily needs. So this thing cannot be theoretical. Dr. Lester Tenney coming up and defending this administration, saying it's better than George Weah and giving numerical values, giving economical values, telling us, you know, this happened, we are time, that happened, we are time. The ordinary market woman don't care about those theories. The market woman care about practical. Right? Daniel Sando coming and saying, look, we are better than George Weah time. We are doing this. George Weah time, they were killing and this and that. Look, Omar Lopu in the market there is not listening to you, Daniel Sando. The function of what Daniel Sando and the Ministry of Information should be doing is regularly updating the Liberian people what this administration is doing. Inform them. But Nelson, these interviews are very important. This is how President Weah got defeated, right? The people started complaining gradually. Oh, you are not doing well. When President Weah came in, now they start to regret, President Waka, we are sorry, we didn't elect you and this and that. Once the people start to complain gradually, and certain measures are not taken to minimize the suffering, you will most likely face defeat. I'm not asking the president to abandon road construction. I'm not asking the president to abandon restructuring the University of Liberia. Those are very important things. But what can we do as an administration for the people to start to see some positive changes in their life, for their day-to-day activities, their day-to-day needs to be met, if not fully met, but to some extent? We have to start to encourage public sector's investments, secure the country, encourage sector investment. As long as government remain the primary employer in the country, and the people are not employed, and their children are not being fed on time, and their school fees are not being paid, no matter what you do, your administration is not working. Dr. Lester Tenney can go there and speak all the big books and give all the big figures. Only few people will have an understanding of that. Me, you, and few people. But our ordinary people don't care about those big numbers. Lester Tenney, Daniel Sando, those people don't care about your comparison, your campaign moon comparison, because that's how I see it to be. He's still stuck in the campaign mode. Address issues that the ordinary people will have some direct benefit. Transportation, the rice price, prices of commodities on the market. Address those things so that when the people starting to have direct positive transformation in their life, then nothing else you do is important. They will hail you, they will praise you, they will worship you. But outside of that, you are doing nothing in the eyes of the people. And this is not just on President Boakai. Let me end on this note. This also happened on our President Weah administration. We saw a complaint on our Madam Saliba administration. Our people just want their daily needs to be met. Try to balance the equation, find an equilibrium. While you are addressing the bigger things, address the day-to-day needs of the people to some extent.
You know, but I want to go back on this a little. Cindy, are the views coming from those people? Is it fair to use those views to measure the performance of any government? Is it a realistic representation of what the actual performance of any government is?
Nelson, government performance can be measured in many ways. Can be measured based on I would say that's the most important survey you can actually do. International community may have their opinion. They may write on a piece of paper and bring it to you and say you are performing poor in security, you are performing poor in this area, law enforcement or law, and they can say all of that. But the people that you serve, the people who voted for you, the ordinary people, majority of our voters are those who depend on government regulations to meet their daily needs. Right? When those people are not happy with you, Nelson, that says a lot. I'm not saying that everything they're saying will be fair or will be an accurate measure of your performance, but it's worth giving attention. It is worth giving attention to an extent that you might want to look at some of the commodity prices. You want to look at the area of education. How is that affecting the people? What can the government do to reduce school fees or tuition fees? What can the government do to reduce the price of rice, the price of gasoline, transportation? Those commodities that the people need to survive on. Put in some measure. And then also address the big thing, corruption, wasteful spending in government, because all of that trickle down to the people. So yes, Nelson, it is worth giving attention.
Wow. Famola, let's hear your take on this issue. You are muted. Can you unmute?
Hello, you getting me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nelson. Look, we cannot grade this government in the first year by the sporadic interview that took place by a class of people. I know, like how Sandy said it, no disrespect to the ordinary people, but the level of understanding of how government works and the intervention of government in making sure a regulation is in place or a economy is working, the ordinary people will not understand it. And I also follow all of those interviews that were going on. I was disappointed. To be honest with you, I was disappointed that people will not, people were just saying things on the basic that their daily needs were not met. It was just simply about their daily needs. They were basic things that they need for their family. That's all they were thinking about. Somebody sitting right on the road. They said, oh, I every day they see my market. You sending right on the quota in the middle of the road. Your safety is involved. You say every day see my market when I can't sell on the road. Why would you want to sell on the road when they build market house for you? Go sell there. You say no. So the problem, and it's so hard to explain this, because those the information arm of the government need to really come down and break down things that the government is doing that is making, that is having effect on the livelihood of the people. They need people to come and really break it down. The social media, not everybody get opportunity to come on social media to be reading. That brother don't have a reading class. The literacy rate in our country is so high. So when you go in the market square to go ask people about how the government performing, the thing you hear from there, you say you feel bad, but some of the question that the guy was asking, said he himself was even embarrassed to continue the interview. But on the overall, the real administration failed miserably. That administration redistributed poverty and diseases to our people. There was a structural administration that passed on to George Weah. There was institution that was set up. Everything was working when George Weah took over. But when he took over, the first thing that happened was self-greed. All the young boys that came on into government, all of them start acquiring wealth, start buying property, start building. Even the president himself led that charge. He was building property for himself, and that was the first idea they had. Run the entire country down, broke everything, and we all saw it when the new administration took over, when President Baka took over. You saw that the information ministry, everything, even toilet, they have to go and refurbish everything. You saw it. Finance ministry got burned. All government function, all government owned enterprises were not functioning. So everything got damaged. So this government came in and they tried to restructure them. They are doing what I know there are some problems, but it's not going to be solved overnight. The Liberian people have to be patient, give it a time, and we will see how things go on as everything work along the line. Things will not change automatically. But when you look at what the index that came in 2019, the gross domestic product was, Liberia has 3.3 billion GDP. But in recent time, I just checked it, in 2024, we went up to 4.20 billion. That means this government is doing well than the previous government. But Liberian people don't understand what GDP means, because people not coming to explain to them about the GDP and how other things are working. So this issue is a very hard thing. The Liberian people will not understand that particular part, in as much as people not talking about how the rest is consistent in the country. There have been no shortage of rest for the whole 1 year. But during George Weah, there was shortages. Even though they were giving subsidies, they were giving money to people to bring rest, but the red press will stay, and the rest will stay scarce. People will stay suffering. Gas price now go down. They brought transportation price down, but they still Liberian people again. When they did it, when I saw Spoon took that microphone, they were making sure they were asking people how much you pay to the driver. Some people out of desperation. When the driver go tell you, say 200 to move from Douala to go Broad Street, you ain't got to go. And the price from transport say $100. The Liberian people then second agree for them to be exploited. Then in the end, everything going to government. People are not sincere in the country. So when they bring the gas price down, the government brought price regulation, say for Douala to Broad Street is $100, but the driver will never agree. They will never agree. So in the end, all that is happening over there, And they see like people donate to the scene like people in the end the government with all the blame going to government. But I think the government is moving slowly, but it's not moving as fast as the Liberian people think they should move. So they have to be patient, and like any other country, this is not an easy task for the new administration, especially seeing that the previous administration broke down almost everything. Every sector was broken. Thank you.
Now, this is very important because bulk of the citizens mentioned issues that are affecting them personally. Like a motorcyclist would say, during the previous administration, I would ride my motorbike everywhere. I will go anywhere I want to go. Nobody embarrassing me. I will get my money. But during this administration, they say I'm gonna go to the other place. They say I'm gonna go to the other place. It affecting my business. So the government, zero. They ain't doing nothing. The next person will say, oh, during the previous government, we used to sell all around. Nobody hammocking us. But right now, they tell us to not go sell here. They're seizing our market. Zero. The government is not doing anything. I mean, is it fair to say that the government will have to address these issues? Is there a way the government can address those issues? Are the people complaining about the current administration based on the way the administration is handling things? Okay, what is the government's agenda or objective that is leading to the way things are going? How is the government even getting those people to understand what her objectives are? Is another thing all by itself. And this is exactly where we are. Sandy, you wanted to say something just before we transition? We want to talk about this.
Yeah, Nelson, no, quickly, I was going to say this. On the issue of someone complaining, during the previous administration, I would ride my bike anywhere. These regulations, right, that the government is putting in place, is very important. You can't please everybody in that area. The lack of education is really what affecting us too. The government must put in measures to protect citizens, even you, the bike riders. My only problem, though, with the government is that when they put in those measures, they are not consistent in enforcing those measures. That's really my only problem. If you're going to put in such measures and say, look, if you don't have a helmet, don't come on this particular street, let it be consistent, be very, very straight about it, so that the people will live with it. But if you start it and just don't enforce it after a few months, then you are confusing the people, right? Then you come again the next day and you say, oh, we're going to enforce this. Then nobody trusts you. But government must put in strong measure to safeguard life and properties in the country. And that includes the law around, the helmet. It's a very good practice that a bike rider wears helmet. The passenger wears helmet. My brother, and this, Liberia is not the worst when it comes to bike, right? I tell you this. I travel all across Africa. East Africa, don't go to Uganda. Uganda is terrible with bike. They can put 3, 4 passengers on one bike with no helmet. But the neighbor to Uganda, my favorite country, Rwanda, one man, one cock, no crow for dog. The rider, the passenger, one passenger, the rider and one passenger. All of them must have helmet. You can't argue that in Rwanda. You are not going to be told. The man is riding, the one hand is holding the passenger helmet. As soon as he found a passenger, he gave it to you. There is no argument about that. But in most African countries, this is not just Liberia, people take law into their own hand. But when the government started this thing, I was happy. But now we're hearing that there are lapses, that they are relaxed on this. And people are now going back to riding without helmet. So that's why the young man will come, the young bike rider will come and say, the police was just harassment. The police are not consistent. So now the man, maybe when you're not expecting them to pull him over, then they pull him over randomly. And so the consistency is also lacking from the government. The initiative is good, the consistency is lacking.
So Nelson, let me just add up a few things. When you look at this issue of the bag riders as well, we know the historicity about how the issue about jacking purse and bags from people was initiated by the bag riders. There was time they even put curfew. They say at certain time don't ride bike around this time, all bikes should be packed. It was because of that. People were being attacked, people were being harassed, hijacked late at night, and those bag riders were the same people who were facilitating that. But the problem again is in Liberia, we are not sincere. The police, who is another arm of enforcement, when they arrest the people who are who violate the law, as soon as they give them small change, they allow them to go. And there are certain laws when it become a common law. Like for instance, in the United States, you know when you see red light, whether it is 2 o'clock in the morning, you're not supposed to cross a red light. Some of those things are just common law. Somebody not supposed to tell you when you know for the way that when you take somebody from this distance to this distance, it's supposed to be $10. Why will you be so wicked to go ask them to pay you $50? That the things that happen in the country there, everybody want chopping, they chopping, they spoil the whole country. In the end, they say, oh, they play Italian, go eat.
Thank you. Fambole. Now, I want us to transition a bit to the University of Liberia. The newly appointed president is set to take office tomorrow. She had an engagement with the immersion press
members.
Watch this video. Let's watch it.
The board members. We just have a few minutes with her, and we're going to ask a few questions. Welcome, Dr. Mapaya. Good morning. I see you just had a short meeting with the president. What are your expectations for the job you're coming to take?
The expectations are that I will lead the University of Liberia into its next era. And I'm going to give it everything I've got and everything I've learned over the last 30 years of my career as an academic and an administrator, and help solve the problems that people have identified, and to make everyone feel that the University of Liberia is a beacon as the flagship university in the Republic.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Board Chair.
So, she says she's going to use everything she's got. All the expertise, the knowledge she's acquired over the past 30 plus years of a professional life to make the University of Liberia one of the best, a beacon of hope for the young people, that you can go through that institution and compete with your counterpart, that you can go through that institution and be proud and look back and be proud to say, yes, I'm a University of Liberia graduate. Why this is happening, few hours from now, she's going to be officially inducted. She's going to be taking office as the next president of the University of Liberia. The most controversial group on the campus, SOUP, have started embracing her. The SOUP have started hailing her. I mean, what's your take here, guys? Is Liberia about to see a shift, a transformation? This is happening at a time when there has been a lot of criticisms. There are some who say her selection, she being selected as president of the University of Liberia, is a slap in the face of so many professionals. I mean, you go back to the writer from Dr. Kimmiwicks. He says a slap in the face of so many professional people, young people or old people, people who have dedicated their lives to education. Some of them are double doctorate degree holders. He says a slap in the face of those people. If anybody will be appointed president of the University of Liberia, should be a Liberian, and that will be a demonstration of how proud our country or our government or our president is to showcase one of Liberia's brightest, or whoever that person is. She sounds confident that there's going to be transformation at the University of Liberia. I mean, let's hear you. Let's start with you on this one, Fambole.
So Nelson, firstly, let me go back to the word controversial that you use. I want you to take that word back. The Vanguard Unification Party is not a controversial group.
I mean, that's soup is. I mean, soup
You
is
don't
not
have
controversial.
let's get it straight. It is not. They are not a controversial group. It's a progressive, mass-based student
You
revolutionary.
know, they made like you man, so you work on interface.
Not that. It's not a controversial group. You don't consider a conscious group to be a controversial group. People who are revolutionaries. You don't call
But
them
let
controversial.
me ask you. Let me ask you. Your days at the University of Liberia, were you a soupist?
Nelson,
No.
I was
That's not my question. Were you a
Nelson.
soupist?
Nelson, I'm a proud soupist.
Okay.
And I can say
Now
that
I'm sending you know where
I
we
can
go.
say that 150 times. I'm a
Okay.
proud soupist.
So I
So
am not, and I've never been a soupist. From the lens I'm using to look at soup from a distance, I see soup to be a very controversial group. But you can go ahead.
all right. Anyways, that's your opinion. That's an opinion. So soup is a mass-based student movement. It's one of Africa's oldest bulwark of contemporary consciousness, and they have already seen, because soup has their own microscope. They have already microscope all those people, and they know that based on the portfolio of Dr. Mapaya, she has all of the pedigree to lead a university into the direction. Because we have tried other people. Soup use her own people. We have Dr. Nelson. So Soup is, where did the university go? So, I mean, that's why she said she have just had a meeting and they have discussed, they know the challenge of the university. And like I said previously on the previous show, that her appointment has some good side and also has some bad side. But I always stick to the good side because I said good always prevail over evil. Nobody, Soup is not a retrogressive organization. So when they see good thing, not everything they say Soup, because when people demanding for change, then they say, oh, the controversial, oh, that nurse maker. No, I don't categorize it like that. There are people in that group who are very inclined, who knows exactly the direction the university is in.
I hope you're not twisting my comment here. Family, I'm not saying Soup doesn't have incline. I mean, there are national leaders who
You
came
said
from-
the most. In fact, you use the word the most controversial.
I
You
mean,
don't. You don't. Why
listen,
you
man.
not say the most conscious, but you say the most controversial?
Don't use that whole controversy thing I mentioned to divert our attention from the real issue.
Yeah, but that's the part that you said that made people to look at Soup in that direction. You started it off to say they are the most controversial. Why must it be the most controversial? That the question I'm asking you, why you call them the most controversial? Because all they have done in the past was just to confront government, especially when they are in the wrong. Soup always come for the massive of our people. They have been there from its inception. And because of that particular struggle, that today, the ordinary people can visit the University of Liberia, they can attend the university. It was because of the struggle of men who put their life on the line that today you even have a whole Gabi Tabiane or Yakma Holone can attend the University of Liberia. It was because of the liberation struggle of Soup and that make the university like that. So that Mampaya came, she had conversation, she had meeting. So when they listened to those meetings and they saw that she have those positive ideas that will forward mass, Soup is in the interest of the mass base of our Liberian people. The sons and daughters of the ordinary pepper and bitter seller who go to the University of Liberia to get tertiary education, they know that they are in defense of those people. So when Dada Mapaya say that we have already discussed the challenge of the university and we want to move the university in a new era, Soup is always a progressive group, so they will support progress at the university. So
let me say this. Let me say this. I mean, thanks a lot, Fambole. I mean, that's a great point. I can understand, your position, the lens you're using as a soupist, and I can understand. You think Soup is not a controversial group, but again, I'll say Soup is and has been a controversial group at the University of Liberia. They're always in the midst of disagreements with every administration at the University of Liberia.
They
Public
disagree on fundamental issues.
Okay,
They
yeah.
disagree on
That's where I
fundamental
came
issues.
from. That's where I came from when I said the controversial group. They've been in the midst of lots of disagreements with almost every administration, every president at the University of Liberia. So I don't mean to say that they don't have very sound. No, they are very smart, very educated young guys in soup. They are they are national leaders who are still a part of soup today, and I respect that. But it's a controversial group, you know, and that's where I stand. They've been in the midst of public disagreements with almost every president of that institution. But thanks a lot. Let's hear from you, Cindy. I mean, where do you think we're headed with this? Just listening to Dr. Marprian and the way she engaged the issue, how optimistic she is with respect to what's ahead for the University of Liberia, given the different issues that have been surrounding her appointment. I mean, what do you foresee, especially now with this controversial group soup coming up publicly to embrace her appointment? I mean, are we about to see a new dawn at the University of Liberia? Is anything about to change?
Well, Nelson, let me start off here by saying whether soup or any other group on the campus of the University of Liberia, or just any student attending the University of Liberia, I believe went there with the intent to learn. I believe have the desire to learn. I believe they want to learn in an effective, efficient, and timely manner. I believe some of the frustrations we have gotten from that campus is due to the lack of care, the lack of attention, the lack of resources, the disrespect that has been given them by their leaders, by the government, the lack of interest shown by the government, past and present, to intentionally transform the lives of those people that are going out there to learn. I don't believe somebody child leave their house and say, I will go to UL just to be a disruptor. I believe they go there believing that they will learn and that they will graduate and that they will move on with their lives. Their past president may have failed them. They are optimistic, they are hopeful that given the experience, the qualification, and the intent from this new president to transform that institution, they believe that good day, new day is coming to them, and that's why they are excited. Let me share this with you, Nelson. Look, let me share this with you, and let me share this with the Liberian people. I have personally met Dr. Lily Mapaya in person, and we exchanged contact. She is a member of the Baha'i faith. She's a Baha'i. I am a member of the Baha'i faith. When I went to Liberia, 2021, I went to the Baha'i National Center right there in Congo Town by the police, the Congo Town police station there.
Okay.
That's where I met her. I love to sing. I played drum that day, and after I sang, after singing and playing drum, she came to me and she asked where I'm from because she hasn't seen me in the community. She's been in Liberia as a pioneer, a Baha'i pioneer, for a long time. She said, "Where are you coming from?" I told her I'm from the US. I'm visiting. She gave me your email address. We exchanged contact. That's where I met her. I've never shared this. The last time I decided to hold it back, but now I share this for a reason. Baha'is are not political. That's why I try to be not political. I try to be neutral. But Baha'is really are not political.
Vasco would disagree with you on that.
Vasco would disagree. But I said
that's the man that you should use controversial on.
But I said this. Dr. Mapayan is going over there as a non-political, experienced professional. She's not going to get involved into the day-to-day politics. She's going over there with the Baha'i principle that says service to humanity is worship to God. She's going over there to serve the Liberian people, to serve the students at the university. She will work with the government to transform the UL. And I really hope that the government will provide her the resources the university needs to really move that institution from where it is to a better place. That woman has been a servant in Liberia for a long time. She's a Baha'i pioneer. And she had been serving the Baha'i community diligently in Liberia. That is the same spirit of service that she will bring to the University of Liberia. So I want to say it again, congratulations to Dr. Mapayan, our Baha'i sister, Alawapa. May the blessed beauty Baha'u'llah guard you in your service to Liberia. Thank you.
So Nelson, I have, you know, I have a serious problem with you tonight, but we'll discuss that behind the scene. But if you look at wait a minute, we'll discuss that behind the scene. But if you look at the masses of our people who were disconnected from the national cake, when you look at when the university was first built, the group of people who were going to that university, were they not the Johnsons and the Wilsons? Were they not those boys from up there? But when the Vanguard Student Unification Party came into being, the ordinary people got the opportunity to start going to the University of Liberia. And they were the one who have challenged government from time immemorial. All those government, it was the only student-based revolutionary fund that look at the face of Sami Doe. He said, if you are a dictator, you must go back to the barrack. We look at Charles Taylor and say, you Taylor, you are not to rule us, and Taylor founded another organization on the campus to suppress soup, but soup will always prevailing. There will always be soup. And that's the Progressive Party.
And that's the controversy right there. And that's what makes
when you confront dictatorship, they say, oh, it's controversial. And when we challenge George Weah, when the parties challenge George Weah, they brought Prosa. And you see, so you always want to suppress the masses of our people, and somebody saying, no, you can't push any more further, will defend the ordinary people. You say the controversial. So, but today they are seeing a progressive lady, and they are celebrating, and now it's taken the controversial. So we are happy in good faith that we say our people have signed up for too long. We don't want to challenge Ambassador Braga to open university. We put pressure on them, and Soup will take the credit. Anyway, you want to turn it around, Soup will take the credit. We are very, very happy that the Mapaya came, and her agenda is clear. She came with a very clear agenda. She didn't get any political connection. So we already know. Now the former president already get political connection. But this lady, she had no political connection.
I think we should go to the phone lines and take some calls. I think we should go to the phone lines and take
welcome the idea.
But CDC released a statement accusing the current administration of clamping down on free speech. The institution thinks that
Nelson gone frozen.
Yeah, I think Nelson is frozen. Liberia internet.
I'm telling you. Yeah, because he considering the ordinary people to be controversial. Because they stand in defense of the ordinary people. Why would you even think like that? And I'm happy that you have people knowing now to distinguish between militancy and revolution. There are so many people who don't know to be a militant is different from being a revolutionary. So the militants of the party are those who come in defense of the party, especially when they are under attack. But the revolutionary are those who have the fundamental and understanding of the party. They are the ones who actually are the ideological defender of the party. So is the militants. Some branch of the militants are the fundamental defender of the party. That's how they are structured. The only the student-based political party that is well structured on university camp on the campus of the University of Liberia, you'll find SOUP. Yes, at some point, SOUP has come so strong to resist tyranny, and that's fair enough.
No, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I have not had any encounter personally with SOUP, except that I, follow some of the activities. But I want to believe if you leave someone alone, relax, with, not engaged, not busy, you expect them to engage into other activities that you may not necessarily like.
Absolutely.
When a person go to school to learn, but sometimes you close their campus for months for unexplained reason, because you cannot pay their teachers. The learning environment is not conducive. They don't have the right resources to learn. And they are very relaxed. There's nothing happening to change their lives. You expect them, they will engage into activities that you may not necessarily like.
And that is why SOUP never went quiet, because many a times you always find people thinking that the problem of the University of Liberia has always been the student unification party. No.
Yeah.
It has never been. The problem has been government failing to hold up to a responsibility for the chapter that created the University of Liberia said about, I think, 75% of the funds that run the university should come from national government. So if that is so, then why would the university be closed? Why the university is not even expanding? That's the problem. The university is not progressing. The university all the part-time has been retrogressing. You have seen people graduating from the University of Liberia that cannot even read properly. There were people who were even given honor. They were graduating with honor, and they went to give speech. Their speeches were out of line. We also said, yeah, you remember said, yeah, I had that low error that went to 0.4 junction there.
Right.
The lady who had the entertainment error. Which honorary degree they gave us?
Is Formula still angry about controversy?
No, I'm not angry. I mean, Nelson,
So
the way you
guys,
started, the way you started, you and the super and on ground, you discuss it. I'm not there.
Don't put him in trouble.
But two guys are my guys. I mean, all a majority of the guys there, I mean, we interact a lot, but controversy is not all negative.
Well, the way you said it is not negative.
Controversial people are highly unpredictable. You see the man coming, you know the next move the man coming take. You know the main next direction.
But Nancy, I took the controversy in the context in which you said it. The way you make the emphasis on it, you said the most controversial group. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Guys, we have some technical problems, some technical issues here. I really
we already noticed that
transition, but we have some technical issue here.
Already said that off the radio. The radio is off.
Yeah, so it's a serious technical issue here. So I want to say thanks, man. It's been a great show. We look forward to being here tomorrow. Liberian Constitution. Sorry, you can't join the conversation because we're already off now.
Oh, never come with the Constitution.
Yeah. So I hope to have you on.
It was a great show, man, Nursing. And that's what I was. I sent communication through our veteran bureau, and I told them, I say, comrades, you guys have to calm down. If the university have to progress, you guys have to embrace change. Revolution means change.
Wait, family. It means that you guys are the ones who used to burn the tires sometimes on the road there and say,
look, my man. Look, tire burning has nothing to do with.
No. I want to understand. Were you part of those groups that used to burn the tires and say no president coming on the campus here today?
Look, the president, any president of any country become a visitor to the university.
No, were you?
No, I don't burn tire. I'm an intellectual. I don't burn tire.
Your own group. You are destroying your own group.
Look, people have the right. People have the right to disagree with the government. It's a fundamental right. If they burn down the road, that means they're calling the government attention to certain things because
Let's do
the
our
government is
closing.
stubborn.
Let's do our closing. Sandy, let's hear you do your closing, sir.
Look, on the same topic, right? Again, I would say disagreement will come, groups will come, uh, and based on how their learning environments are being cared for or not cared for, could lead them to doing things that we may not necessarily like. But I'm not encouraging any of them to continue with the habits of burning tires or all of that. I think we can disagree in ways that we can still draw the government attention to do the right thing. I am very hopeful that with this appointment, this new president, Dr. Mampaya, will bring change to the university. We really want to see change. And I'm not saying this because I've met her in person or because she's a member of the Baha'i Faith, but I've read her background very thoroughly. And the fact that she's not politically affiliated, I believe she had the intent and the experience needed to transform that university. Our brothers and sisters that are attending the university deserve better education. I know the power of education, Nelson. I came to this country with just a pen, with nothing, right? And a high school diploma from Liberia, Duja. If you look in my background, you see Duja diploma cover there. That's what I came with to this country. And because of the education I've acquired here, it has changed my life. I am not smart or smarter than any of those men and women that are attending the university. All they need is a better learning environment. They need the opportunity to also do better in life. And that is the opportunity our government owed them. Give them the necessary resources they need, make the learning environment conducive, supply the right equipment that they need to learn fast. And also, I must add this, and I hope that the new president will advocate for this. We need to start changing some of the things we are teaching the people, some of the degrees we are offering. Liberia don't need a lot of business people. We don't need a lot of economists. We don't need a lot of sociologists. We don't need a lot of political scientists. We need people in tech field, computer sciences, computer engineering, civil engineering, construction engineering. We need people in data management. Those are the fields that are making money. Those are the fields that when you learn, people from outside of Liberia can even hire you. But everyone wants to learn business management, public administration. The university needs to be transformed altogether so that our young men and women, smart Liberians, determined Liberians, can also have the opportunity to do better. None of us here are smarter than any of them, but we have the opportunity that they have not been given. And our government needs to give them those opportunities so they can do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. And
yeah, thank you very much to
our
my
space,
Liberian
brother,
people.
you can go ahead do your
My
closing.
Liberian people, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. It was a great show. And as always, we always want better for our country, Liberia first. And no one should stand in the way of progress. Anybody who opposes progress is an anti to development. So we want to say bravo to the new president. I have full confidence in her. I've read and followed her for a little while, and I'm very, very convinced that she will deliver. And those of our friends who always want to champion the cause for the ordinary people, this is about time now that we change the pattern of our advocacy. I know many a times we always say when diplomatic face violent brutality become the order of the day, we have to change that to going into more serious dialogue and find amicable solution. This is not about time that we fold sleeves and fold our feet. No blow throwing, no throwing stone. This is about time that we we open our arms to sit around the table and discuss the issue, just how the philosopher used to sit around the Pantheon to discuss the issue of reality. So let's sit around the table and discuss the issue rather than resulting in violence. So the university has been closed for a little while, and we all know the reason why it has been closed. But this is the time also for us, while we were on our sober reflection, I know there are many positive things that we came up with, and let us use that positive energy to bring transformation. The transformation must come from with us first, before the university is just a structural, it's an infrastructure. But if we ourselves, if our mind is not refined, we go over there, we just go in vain. So let us get ready and let us move our country forward. I love to be pragmatic. I'm not saying you shouldn't go and do business or something, public administration or what. But if you know you don't have a business to manage after you get a business degree, you should think. If you know you don't have access to a job or something else that will put you in a position to manage an entity, you should think. So because these are things that you have to think. If the government is not creating that jobs or not creating the avenue that job will be created in your field, and you go, you do it, you get graduate again, you become a liability and become a burden to yourself. In fact, you become embarrassed for yourself that you graduate from the university, then you cry again, we graduate no job. But you saw that and you still went into that. So look for a few that at least when you graduate, you can get your feet out there and doing something. So let us embrace STEM education. Let us embrace the other part that will move our country forward. Our country, like Liberia, needs STEM education, need engineering. Ghana is doing biomedical engineering now. People are cloning and doing other things. They're using genetic and recombination technology. But where is Liberia? Nobody want to go into that, and that is not helping us. So,
Thank you.
thank you. What a good show. Nelson, also thank you for the opportunity. It's always a pleasure to be out here and to say one or two things to our people. Thank you.
Thanks a lot to you, family, and thanks to all of our folks for being on here tonight. I see a lot of the folks keep reaching out. They want to join the show and all of that. You can reach out to Cindy. You can reach out to any of us on set here. You can reach out to family, Cindy, in case, and then we will take off from there. But I want to say thanks to everyone. We look forward to being here tomorrow. Great show. Until we come back, have a good night, everyone, and bye bye for now.